About homing ability and homesickness. Hello, Dianea. It seems like you're the one to redeem first today. You've broken Hamburger's 2-day streak of being first. About homing ability and homesickness. Dude, it's because my Twitch didn't load. My spidey senses told me you go live any second. I see, okay. Oh my gosh. Just wait. It's the same with humans. We like to sleep, rest, and eat at a place where we feel comfortable, namely our homes. How was everyone's day? Rissa and I are on a walk, and Rissa wanted to press the redeem on your phone. Oh, okay. But you have to be... Any delay might have been given... or might have given someone else an advantage, you know? You gotta make sure you're on that. Your home is to you what nests are to animals. Oh, Rissa did. Nice. There you go. Now, both of you guys were able to do it then. Maybe you should... You see, collaboration is better than competition. Maybe you should do that from now on. You know? Both of you guys working together to take down everyone else. Your home is to you what nests are to animals. Therefore, we can say that humans have a homing ability as well. You hate allergies. Aw. I guess it is allergy time. Sorry to hear that, Hamburger. Hope you feel better soon. Your home is to you what nests are to animals. Therefore, we can say humans have a homing ability as well. First off, why do animals need nests? The answer is the same for humans. Sleeping, resting, and eating are all essential actions for survival. At the same time, these actions leave one defenseless as well. That's why you need a safe area where you can be defenseless. Everyone knows that not having this safe area results in a high level of stress. I eat hot dogs with my butt. I guess they're soft enough to do that without any issues. Yeah. Did Marissa write that? She was like, I want to write anything on your phone. Wow. Did it just start today, Hamburger? Has it been like building up for the past week or so? When you move an animal to a new environment, it naturally becomes stressed. When you force a person to live in a foreign land where they're uncomfortable, they become greatly stressed as well. Everybody also knows this kind of stress is called homesickness. The Japanese don't know much about homesickness. We define it as mental weakness and we neglected to treat it for a long period of time. It's been like this for a week. Ah, damn. Hope it goes away soon. However, homesickness has a very long history. In Europe's Middle Ages, people believed that it wasn't mental, but rather a physical disease. People also believed that out of everyone, the Swiss got the disease the most. The Swiss, you see, were known to be an ethnic group that worked away from home in that area. Lived far away from their homes. So how have you been? You've just been staying at home, or you've been doing everything? Quick, Della, you're in the middle of a soccer match. Okay, what do I do? Hello, Indie Man. Hope your work was better today than yesterday. It's easy to imagine that the young Swiss worker got homesick while working in a strange land. These Swiss who got homesick wanted to go home. They couldn't because of their jobs. The conflict made them weak physically and mentally. Some of them went crazy and tried to escape from their reality by committing suicide or running away. Dele has the ball and the goalie has left for some unknown reason. Okay. Can I not just, like, walk it into the goal then? If the goalie just left? This was at the time were very superstitious, and many folk remedies and occult-like treatments to prevent homesickness went around. Della kicks the ball and it's going. Wait, I walked it in. I was gonna walk it in if there's nobody there, or run it in, I guess, if there are other people trying to attack me, or like, yeah, tackle me. Since going home was the only treatment, she must have called it a fatal disease, but it isn't really one, of course. Specifically, homesickness is a sign that human sign of that human homing instinct. Your brain desires to go back to your safe area, namely your home. At first, your brain makes you remember the happy memories of your home, and it urges you to go home in a natural way. When reason stops you from achieving your desire, your brain starts sending unnatural signals to your body. As a result, your body gets weak, and that makes it more difficult for you to live in a strange land. In the end, you have to bend reason in order to achieve your desire to go home. So homesickness is born from our homing instinct. But it's blocked by the goalie who returned. He went to Costco for a chicken and forgot his membership card and his other shorts. So he just has another pair of shorts just lying around at the goalpost. And that one has the Costco card, which, by the way, I don't even know why you'd need 2 shorts to bring onto the field. And the stronger one's homing instinct is, the stronger their homesickness. The strength of that homing instinct varies from individual to individual and depends on the environment in which these individuals live. When your home is safe and the environment you live in is dangerous, your homing instinct goes stronger. On the other hand, when the environment you live in is safer than your homing instinct becomes very weak. Safety isn't the only element that affects its strength. Culture aspects affect it too. The many customs demanding families to return home for major events varies with each region, so your birthplace's culture also alters the strength of your homing instinct. Amongst these regions, the transcendents of Onigafuchi village were believed to have an excessively strong homing instinct. You ate the hot dogs with your butt? But it's still a goal. It bounced off the goalie's head and hit a lunch lady in the crowd wearing a hairnet, which is still a net on their side. Wow. I didn't know that. I ate all the hot dogs with my ass. And you had to specify ass again. Wow. How did it, what are your thoughts? Write your feelings about that. After eating all the hot dogs with your ass. And suddenly, okay. But it's still a goal, right? Meaning that we got a point? Why are you crying? I thought you enjoyed it. Okay, so the Costco employee enters the field. Which the goalie, I guess, wanted to go to, but maybe now the goalie can do something else. Amongst these regions, the transcendents of Onigafuchi village are believed to have an excessively strong homing instinct. Any and all hot dog talk is Rissa. That's what I was assuming. The people of Onigafuchi forbade their fellows from ever leaving. Many believe this was the effect of the elitism and sense of purity I already mentioned before. People today still strongly believe that Oyashiro-sama puts his curse on you if you break his rule and abandon the village. This superstition can be interpreted as homesickness. If homesickness is directly proportional to one's homing instinct, then the exaggerated expression curse would signify the strength that homesickness and also their homing instinct. We finished Endgame today. Nice! What are your thoughts about that? I can assume that they hated the outside world and created an insular society precisely because of their powerful homing ability. Unfortunately, there's no way to measure the strength of the homing ability that the primitive people of Onigafuchi had. Because the goalie had broken in anyway, and 20 chickens... Wait. Without paying. So the Costco guy is removing the goalie then? So now the goalie is running away from a very irate minimum wage employee. This is the weirdest soccer game I think I've ever experienced. I can't lie. As long as it helps our team win, though, I can't complain. Very, very neat. Thanos wasn't nearly as good as Infinity War. That's what I was saying. That's why I was really hoping that you did watch Infinity War beforehand. Just overall, Infinity War is a better movie, and Endgame just feels very rushed, as a whole. There definitely should have been 3 movies, to, wrap up the saga, but they just ended it in Infinity War. Or, sorry, in Endgame. But there should have been another thing. Hot dog butthole. Wow, Rissa. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed eating hot dogs with your ass. It's the entire, there's many things, but one of the main things I think is the entire storyline between, Tony and, what is it? The entire storyline between Iron Man and Captain America, it's the entire thing was that they broke off, right? And and then suddenly the next scene of them is and they had huge differences and they were all mad at each other. And that was the very first scene of Endgame. And then, they come back and then it's stuff goes to shit. And then suddenly it's they're all friends again. And it's we didn't see them reconcile at all. She's very mad about the ball to the face. But in the meantime, the lunch lady starts to chase me. Well, it's not my fault, okay? You can blame the goalpost for being there and her for standing there. That's kind of what the Avengers always did. Yeah, but it just feels like a slap in the face. Like there's this entire buildup of like this like they hate each other, you know, like they had to work together and then they all hate each other and they hate each other. And then it's like there's an entire buildup and then like literally it was entire plot points of like the group splitting up. And then suddenly it's like they're back together like that. You know, like they definitely should have had more like to like flesh that out. Elephant shit stain. Why would you say something so evil, Rissa? I hope your heartless words makes you feel better about yourself because that pains me. What Marvel hero other than Thor was the first to live Mjolnir? No clue. I trust you, Diana. Beta Real Bay. Is he a beta or an alpha? I feel really good about myself. Wow. You feel good about making other people feel sad and putting other people down. It really shows me the type of person you are. Shit stain. I'm crying right now. It hurts me. Why would you take my name and add shit stain to it? Captain Marvel is lame. It really feels like Captain Marvel, they could have done so much cooler stuff with her character, but they kind of just shoehorned her in. It was so strictly forbidden to leave the village that nobody left long enough to get homesick. However, after the Meiji era, things changed. The sacredness of Onigafuchi village dwindled with the efforts of modernization. Many young people started longing for... That's what it feels like. It's, they just tried to make her, oh, look, I'm the strong character. They didn't actually try to make a fun... Or like, they didn't try to make a good character. And that's how it feels a lot about the newer Marvel stuff. They don't try to make good characters. They just try to like the same thing with She-Hulk. You know, they could have made like an actual good movie, but instead it's just like, yeah, wow, I'm so strong. And I'm a woman, meaning I'm better than you. Like, they could have done so much cooler stuff rather than make the movie like that. The original Captain Marvel died of cancer? Really? That sucks to hear. Real comic, look it up. But, like, you would think that being a, like, you know, literally one of the strongest, I mean, not one of the strongest, but, like, superhuman, like, very strong hero, that, I guess it shows how strong cancer is, I guess. Many young people started longing for city life, and some people were forced to leave the village to get a job. As a result, villagers started venturing outside the village borders. That was when the Transcendents of Onigafuchi realized how strong their homing ability was for the first time. Let's see this. Yeah. Captain Marvel... Marvel Cancer. It was complicated? Oh, damn, look, everyone's around when he dies. That's actually really sad. He was loved, but it's very sad. The residents of Hinamizawa got extremely homesick. Who's Mary Sue? How to tell if your character is a Mary... What is a Mary Sue? His death was final. Oh, okay. MC... Hey, Ruben! When a woman character is basically untouchable. Ah, I see. Okay, okay. What about Arby? Arby sandwich. Yes, because we have to mention every single time Ruben comes in, we have to mention the Arby sandwich. I already made that joke too long. I feel like everyone has to make that joke. They're good at everything for no reason. Yep. I don't care. No, I'm pretty sure so many people have made that joke. Ruben's just now just in a sandwich. Gary Sue's the guy equivalent. Oh. After a while, people started to call this homesickness the curse of Oyashiro-sama. It became rumored that a person who left the village to get a job in a strange land was cursed, that he went crazy and died, and people who had left the village started coming back to either it or the nearby town. Like your foot. What do you mean your foot? What about your foot? What is similar to your foot? Their homesickness and their homing ability were very strong because of their culture. It's reasonable to think that these were cultivated by the unique religion in Hinamizawa, namely the cult of Oyashiro-sama. From the moment they were born, they were taught the rules of Oyashiro-sama. They must have felt guilty about leaving the village unconsciously. As a result, they considered their homesickness to be the cure of Oyashiro-sama. I'm not sure if their homesickness got stronger because of the rules of Oyashiro-sama, or if they made the rules of Oyashiro-sama because their homesickness got stronger. I don't know which came first. I got tired of reading such small print and lay down on the floor on my back. The true identity of the curse of Oyashiro-sama is homesickness? Mio-san believed my story, and she let me read these scrapbooks. That's why I expected to find something interesting. What it's saying is the answer to it all is homesickness? Which many doctors told me many times at counseling. I'm a little upset. The word homesickness can't explain the extraordinary experience I had. I saw Oyashiro-sama come down to me from a bright light in the bathroom. I saw the dusky red, nasty maggots come out of my blood vessels. This scrapbook doesn't explain any of that. Okay, but I don't understand. Like, obviously, if I had maggots living inside of me... How long is this game? I've been streaming for months. Well, I come back and stop it for time. But it's like multiple... It's very long. You can see here, if I just type in... Like, I take breaks and do other stuff meanwhile. But like you see, we have all this. We start at chapter 1. We're at chapter 6 right now. We have all the way down to chapter 8. And then there's an epilogue here, basically. Is what it is. Really, I think they were, like, each game, I think, are around, like, 20 hours long. Just chapter 4 was 10 hours long, for me, at least. What's my favorite kind of meat? I would say chicken. It's boring, but it's boring for a reason. It's because it's the best. I don't understand how Mio-san was going to explain the cloud of maggots. Maybe she didn't have any explanation to begin with. Chapter 8 took me, like, 30 hours. Yeah, I know you said the last segment is, like, 10 hours long. Is it just a delusion? I flipped through one of the other scrapbooks Mio-san let me borrow. It's just, like, chicken is just a good, it's just a good baseline for everything. Like, you know, you can eat, like, chicken goes with anything. You know, like, certain things, it's like, oh, okay, beef goes with this thing, and, like, pork goes with this thing, and it's like, you have certain things that have to work well with other things because of the fat content, and, like, heaviness and the red meat and all that, but chicken just goes with everything. What am I guessing? A lot of people give a drastically lower number. Maybe my numbers might be a little bit higher because I spend time to just talk with, you know, just, like, I stall for a bit talking with chat and everything, but, I think it should be up. It's not like I'm... What am I guessing, Rissa? But, I think it's generally accurate. Looked through one of the other scrapbooks Mio-san let me borrow, looking for an explanation of the maggots I saw. Thank you, Rissa! Wow! Amazing! And I found it. I had the exact title I was looking for. So basically, Indie Man, probably about 10 more hours of this chapter, and then we're gonna play another game, and then we'll have 10 more hours, or sorry, 20 more hours of another chapter, and then we'll play another game, and then probably like around 30 hours of another chapter, and then that'll be the end of Higurashi. I found, oh, the exact title I was looking for. About maggots and the curse of Oyashiro-sama. In the Meiji era, a group of villagers were on their way back to Hinamizo. Oh, what I was saying before. Okay. If I had maggots inside of me, of course I wouldn't like it. But if they started gushing out from my body, like, like I felt them inside of me and they were gushing out like from my body, I don't think I would like try to scratch like cut to get them all out, you know? It's like if they're in my body already, they're not causing any harm, you know? I'll just leave it there. So basically another few months. I guess so, yeah. In the Meiji era, a group of villagers were on their way back to Hinamizawa, and they started discussing a rumor about a weird disease. They said that maggots started crawling out of the wounds of a person who left Hinamizawa, and that the maggots ate the person's body from the inside. The Shinto priest at Furude Shrine at the time explained that the weird disease was a sign of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. According to tradition, the Shinto priest showed the villagers an ancient scroll, and he told them that the story of the maggots had been passed down through the ages. This is what the scroll said. The world where the demon came from must be interpreted as the land of death. And the demons in the land of death had to live their lives while being eaten by maggots. The villagers who are of the demon's blood had nothing to worry about as long as they lived in Hinamizo under the protection of Oyashiro-sama. I mean, you and Surplus, like, spammed it at the end. You guys would go, like, like, tens of hours long just reading Higurashi. Once they left Hinamizo, like, even the times I feel like with stream, like when I read 1 or 2 segments each stream, it still kills, like, you know, I feel very tired by the end of it. I don't know how you were able to read that much. They'd eat their bodies from the inside out. This maggot disease scared the villagers for a while, and they asked the shrine to provide them with protective talismans whenever they had to leave the village on business. We nearly did the last segment in one go. I remember, I feel like I remember, you just said you had to end though, because Surplus had to go to church. This is interesting, as it's similar to the way homesickness was dealt with by the Swiss in the Middle Ages. After the war started, the delusion of maggot disease faded away, but they remained accustomed to send talismans to families that lived away from Hinamizoa. The talismans had the word maggot on them, but the most interesting part about all this is the residents of Hinamizoa didn't know about the maggot disease until the rumors began. I thought that their unconscious worship made people think of the homesickness as a curse. Yeah, I can't. And then I know he had to spend, like, after he went to church after staying up the entire night and then still came back and then, like, had to do other things, if I remember. And then he still slept later that night. Like, I don't know how he managed to do it. I don't know how. So this case of the previously unknown maggot disease directly contradicted the research I'd done so far. It's natural to think that the group of people who were on their way back to the village were lost in a mass delusion because of they strongly believed in the curse, and the Shinto priests took advantage of their state of panic to instill a deeper faith in them. But I'm not fully convinced that it was merely a coincidence that this mass delusion matched with the story of the old picture scroll. I wonder if it's possible to see maggots in a wound without having the prerequisite knowledge when a person is cursed by Oyashiro-sama. I wish Oyashiro-sama would put his curse on somebody I could study. I'd love to see those maggots coming out of someone. Oh. I felt as if Mio-san was here and making that request of me. I remember. When she gave me the scrapbook, she said that I might be the only one who could understand them. I felt good for just a moment, because I found that the maggots weren't a delusion. But at the same time, it destroyed my excuse that it was a delusion. The maggots weren't a delusion. They were there. All of a sudden, my wrists, elbows, inner thighs, and neck started itching. I felt the urge to cut open a blood vessel, but I quietly held it down. I remember that Mio-san looked very serious when I talked about the maggots. She must have thought it was creepy. But so did I. While I was crying because nobody believed me, part of me didn't want to believe that my body was filled with those creepy things. I think part of me wanted to believe that it was a delusion. The issue for me, part of me, for, like, reading and stuff, I don't think I could do what I normally do. But for other pieces of fiction, like manga or anime, or just, like, even normal TV shows, like regular TV shows, or, like, I guess movies doesn't really count, because it's, like, obviously you're meant to sit in it, watch it in one sitting. But, like, for most pieces of media, I have to sit down, like, and I can't stop. Like, it's literally an issue. Like, I just keep reading and reading, and like, if it's manga, I keep reading and reading. If it's anime, I just keep watching, or like even like just any show, I just keep watching and watching and watching. Like, I can't stop myself. Only if like I'm literally like I don't do anything. I don't talk with anyone. I don't like leave my bed. I only get up to eat, and like probably drink water, use the bathroom. But like that's it. I just can't focus on anything else until I finish. With JoJo's, I can't get myself to watch more than a couple hours at a time. Yeah, I remember when I was watching JoJo in high school. Like, there was this person, and I never understood what they were, but yeah, they, because I never asked, but whatever. They were very into JoJo, and they were the one that like initially told me to like start watching JoJo. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch JoJo. And every time, like we didn't, every time it would come, we'd class every other day. So I'd come into class and be like, oh yeah, I'm at this part, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm at this part now. And then they were like, how are you doing so much? You're gonna pass me where I'm at. Yeah, it's like literally I would go to school, come back, like do whatever homework I had to, like very quickly, and then just watch JoJo the rest of the day, and then go to sleep, and then go to school, come back, watch JoJo, and then like that's all I would do. It's what I did for One Piece as well. It's like literally, it's like when I'm focused on something, I just can't do anything. It's like it's kind of an issue. Yeah, just saying what I've been doing recently. Yeah, no. But now I know it wasn't. It wasn't a delusion. There's just some people who had the same experience. I literally watched 2 episodes One Piece every night with you. Well, I think that's different though. When you're watching something with someone, you watch it with them, you know? Like me watching with someone else, yeah, I'm not gonna spam it, because we would want to go at the same pace. You know, whenever they want to call it, I'll be fine, yeah. But I don't mind just keep going. I can never do more than an hour or 2 at a time. I don't know, I just need to know what happens next. Like, I need to know what happens next. And it's like, I just can't stop. Even if it reaches, like, a stopping point, it's like, I need to figure out what happens next. Maggots in the demon blood will awaken when you use the protection of Oyashiro-sama. In other words, they may not awaken under the protection of Oyashiro-sama. But all the villagers still have the maggots in them without knowing it. People of the demon's blood are people who have the creepy maggots in their bodies. I tried not to jump to conclusions and flip the pages again. I unconsciously looked for something related to maggots. Surplus and I read about them, Surplus and I read at the exact same time. I have no idea what we'll do post when they... Well, that's a long time from now, though. You have just barely gotten, like, started through Umineko, you know? And didn't you say you wanted to go through, like, all of 07th stuff? So you have all of that as well. The only time I binged a show till it's finished was Steins Gate. That's fair. I'm pretty sure there's a lot to Steins Gate. We're a decent way into episode 3. That's okay. Makes sense. About parasites and the control of the host. The maggot disease made me think about something. Is it possible to say that the extremely strong homesickness of Hinamizawa was an infectious disease caused by some kind of parasite? I'm not trying to connect the maggots they saw with parasites. I'm trying to think about the possibility that their culture, their religion, might be associated with an infectious disease. Many infectious diseases are caused unintentionally by parasites. Parasite's host is literally its home. It wants to live within the host's body for as long as it can. The best way to do that is to coexist with the host without the host knowing it. But some parasites try to control their hosts and use them for prosperity. I don't know, I don't like starting things until it's completely finished. So, like, for me, I would never, like, watch Ziconia knowing that it's not done. Some parasites try to control their hosts and use them for prosperity. For example, some parasites have an ability to control their hosts in order to force them to be eaten by superior hosts. A typical example, if the Crowellium dendriticrum. Why'd you have to put the scientific name? Oh, this one! And you just... Yeah, okay. Okay, no, I do know this. It uses snails or ants as an immediate host, and it forces them to move to the upper side of the vegetation so that it's easier for a superior host to consume it. Someone said watch Ziconia. Okay, like a more... Well, yeah, I hope... Okay, yeah, of course. I'm so stupid for saying that. My bad. One parasite that controls more complicated animals is called Toxoplasma gondii. It uses mites as an intermediate host, with the superior hosts being cats. This parasite makes a mouse lose its fear of cats in order to increase its chance of getting eaten, but the parasite can live within a cat instead. Yeah, I've also heard of this one, dude. Like... I'm glad that none of these parasites can infect humans, because they are completely scary. If you guys ever seen, like, videos of this thing, this looks really scary. This thing also looks really scary. Like, just what it can do. But this just like if you've seen Last of Us, just like the game, or played Last of Us, like seen how this looks, this literally works like Last of Us. It's really freaky. Your parasites that choose hosts at random. The rabies virus is commonly known for that. It lives and breeds in the brain of the host, and it moves to the host's saliva through the salivary glands. The poor ants. No, not 10. Well, only if they live in an apartment. Then there'll be 10. It makes the host extremely aggressive in order to make it bite things randomly so that it in turn can move into other hosts through the saliva. That's what rabies does. Many parasites have a similar ability to control hosts to their benefit. The examples I use above are about parasites that move into other hosts to prosper. I think there must be some kind of parasite that controls its host in order to have a comfortable environment in which to live in. I want to try to connect this theory to abnormal homing ability and homesickness of the Onigafuchi residents. Let's say there's some kind of parasite that exists in Hinamizawa, and it lives within all the villagers' bodies. The parasite, Hinamizawa, is the most comfortable environment to live in. So it gives the hosts a strong homing ability in order to make them stay in Hinamizawa. Furthermore, it causes the hosts to get homesick whenever they ignore this homing ability and try to leave. Parasites need hosts in which to live. It's convenient for them if their hosts build a community in the environment where it feels comfortable. This theory makes it easier for me to explain the mysteries that I described earlier. The Transcendents of Onigafuchi knew about the existence of this parasite. They knew that, as hosts to the parasites, they couldn't live outside of the village. That's why they created a culture and rules that prohibited contact with the outside world. It also explains why people acted so abnormal during the dam conflict. So, the demons that came out of the swamp and the legend of Oyashiro-sama can be interpreted as the mass spread of the parasite. The story about the demons attacking the villagers must be a metaphor for the behavior of the infected villagers who were controlled by the parasite. This theory is too crazy. Oh, this theory is too crazy. I should have just laughed about it. But I felt bad for Mio-san, so I decided not to. You know, Mizawa is controlled by... Yes! Yes, it is! Because all the way back in Chapter 1, there was somehow this hive mind thing going on. That is true. And that is something, like, I didn't think it was a parasite, but I thought there was some, like, hive mind thing going on, because it was, like, they were finding out information at the exact same time. You could use that theory to explain how the maggots came out of me. I felt a little bit dizzy. I was so confused, and a part of me thought it was ridiculous. And another part of me thought it was more convincing than any curse. But Mio-san was probably erased because she wrote these scrapbooks. If so, the contents of these scrapbooks must be something they can't ignore. They try to get all of her scrapbooks and consign them to oblivion. What if they notice some of her scrapbooks are missing? I felt a chill run through my spine. I have to keep it a secret that I have these scrapbooks. I'll have to try to understand more about their contents. I remember Mio-san told me that the three families are behind this series of the mysterious deaths and that they're trying to resurrect the cult of Oyashiro-sama. According to the theory I just read, the parasite must be trying to maintain the current environment of Hinamizawa. The healthiest environment, where it is a completely closed village, just like the primitive Onigafuchi. It must be very comfortable for the parasite if no hosts go outside the village. They don't even like that the villagers don't often leave the village to go shopping, which means the parasite would try to goad the host to resurrecting the cult of Oyashiro-sama. I remember. There's an article in the scrapbook saying that the demon's blood runs thickest in the three families. That would mean they have a larger amount of the parasite in them than the other villagers. That they're under its control. Three families seem to be planning to bring the village back to the Onigafuchi era. Reviewing the Watanagashi festival after the dam conflict can be interpreted as their desire to revive the faith that had started to fade away in the Meiji era. Three families, especially the Sonozaki family, have a great influence over the region and the public organizations. What's going on here? I thought this would be a poorly written theory, but the pieces fit together, one after another. I never played a jigsaw puzzle as crazy as this. I felt my brain swirling due to the absurd theory. A part of me thought this was ridiculous. A part of me thought I might be about to expose an unbelievable truth. I tried to look into the center of it. I felt as though I was going to fall into the whirlpool and drown. I'll have to devote myself to reading more seriously. Must be some truth to this. It caused misfortune and made my life miserable after I moved to Ibaraki. Kill you. Oh, we're doing that song. I might be able to find the truth, including the cause of my parents' divorce and my desperate behavior. Right then I heard a knock on the door of a sudden, scaring me. I had the scrapbooks under a cushion.
レイナ、電話が来てるぞ。
電話？こんな時間に？
Yo, 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 Rissa.
誰だろう？
本屋さんからだぞ。本の取り寄せとか頼んだのか？沖宮書房の大石さんって人からだ。
Oishi. Hello, Rissa. How are you doing? Are you okay, Rissa? You seem very hyperactive today. I opened the windows, but all they let in was the heat and the cries of the cicadas.
味いな。味いね。
It was break time between classes, but we couldn't really get any rest. Mion and I leaned on our desks, exhausted by the heat. Boy, when am I not hyperactive? I mean more than usual. Right? Because you were talking about hot dogs eating it up your butthole. Younger kids sure are tough, considering how the heat wasn't bothering them at all. Oh no, wait, no, this is Keiichi now. You're running around the classroom despite the temperature. I've said worse.
都会の学校だと教室にもクーラーとか入ってるわけ？
I'm sure you have, but you've never typed them out.
そんなことねえぞ。
Also, you said hi in like 5 different ways.
あるのはせいぜい職員室ぐらいだな。
うわぁ、それは羨ましいね。生徒みんなで職員室を襲って占拠とかしないの？
その辺の発想が実に妙音臭い。ああ。
I didn't even have the energy to laugh. Mion and I stopped talking and used our notebook. Whoa, that was a sound. My bad, guys. That just came out of nowhere. Mion and I stopped talking and used our notebooks to fan ourselves. I don't know where that came from. My bad. That was just right into the mic. It came out of your mouth. Yeah, but like usually you feel it coming. And it's like you can expect it. That just like randomly appeared. I looked at the empty seat nearby. It was Rena's. Rena didn't come to school today. But by my mic. Yeah. You know, I don't understand people who fart into their mic, because it's like you fart into the mic and it's like then you have to put your like face by it again. Like, why would you want to do that? You're just going to be smelling the fart. Like, just that the mic absorbs. She called and told Chie-sensei she couldn't come back because she's sick.
レナのやつ、最近
What if
元
that's
気な
their
い
goal?
よ
I
な。
guess you're right. It could be their goal. I didn't think about that one.
だね。暑さにやられたのかもね。
なあ、本気で暑さでやられたと思ってるのか？
そう思ってるけど。
例の一件がさ。
かもね。それに暑さも加わって、夏バテでも起こしたんじゃないかな。
Can't even imagine how distressing it was for her to commit a murder, dismember the bodies, and get caught by her friends. We took each other's hands at that place, and we united. All of us believed that we had closed the case there, and we had regained our peace. Yeah. Why'd you want to do that so badly? All of us believed that we had closed the case there and had regained our peace. But that was as easy for Rena as it was for us. But was that as easy for Rena as it was for us? She must not have quite recovered yet.
おじさんはみんなで楽しく遊んでれば、そのうち元気になると思ってたんだけどね。そこまで心の傷が浅くなかったってことかな。
こういう時さ、どうしたらレナを元気づけられるかな？
多分、ほっとくのが一番じゃないかな。
おいおい、そんなのでいいのかよ。俺たち仲間だろ？
Oh yeah, we made a... Here, let me show you actually. I basically made that same thing for my new video upcoming, but it's like better. Look at him. Look how he looks. Holy, the old announcer. For what? It's gonna be like, so it's Cuphead, right? The Cuphead video, and I'm gonna make it like an old-timey video. But it's gonna be like, that's the announcer guy, so he's gonna be like announcing everything. Like, he's the one explaining the intro stuff while I wait for my turn to get on stage, basically, is the storyline I'm going for. My goal is to Miss Farty McFart of all farts. How, you want to, like, be that, Rissa? Like, you want to become that?
ほら、ホームシックってあるじゃない？あれもね、ちょっと寂しいからって言って、
I see, okay.
実家に電話なんかかけちゃうと、
Cuphead was years ago.
一
It
気に
was.
発症しちゃうらしいよ。
I spend way too long stalling. You want an award. How do you think you'll get an award by becoming that?
寂しい時はぐっと耐えて、例えばスポーツにでも打ち込んで気分転換を図るのが一番なんだってさ。
気分転換させてやりたくても、あいつ、最近部活に
Why do you
加
have
わ
to
ら
put
ない
that
し。
twice, Diana? I'm being... It's fine, Rissa.
レナはどうか知らないけどさ、
I don't know, Diana. What would happen? You seem to know the answers.
人には甘えたい欲ってのがあるんだよ。
Say it. Why do you want me to say it so badly? What would happen if Steve Jobs played Fortnite while flossing at 6'7"?67.
そばに支えてくれる人や同情してくれる人がいると甘えたくなる欲、慰めてくれる人が現れるとさ、際限なく甘えちゃうことってない？
どうだろうな。
I don't know, Rissa. Oh my god. Why? We're not bringing back this low taper fade thing. Every single time. Because massive is just part of my vocabulary. And every time I would say it, everyone in chat would be like, would have to be like, low taper fade.
そうすると、ケイちゃんは慰めてるつもりなのに、相手はどんどん落ち込んでいっちゃうことがあるんだよね。慰められて甘えられる。これに味を占めると、不幸に酔うのが癖になる。
Is that good or bad, Rissa? According to Ruben, it's good.
レナもその辺分かってるから、わざと一人になろうとしてるんじゃない？
Hot as in like it's steaming? Like it just came out of like the boiling pot? Or like what? Or like yeah.
慰めや甘えが目的だったら、私たちのそばにいて涙を流せば済む
I
わ
don't
け
think
だ
I
し。
want a cold frozen hot dog.
じゃあ、落ち込んでるレナを、どう励ませばいいんだよ。
女の心情としては、辛さを励ましてくれるより、忘れさせてくれる方が嬉しいね。
慰めるな、励ますな。
So no, I said I chose the lesser of two evils. That doesn't mean I want it.
なんだよ、お手上げじゃないかよ。
慰めるな励ますなは、心理カウンセラーの鉄則だって知ってる？結局、
Don't
心の
lie.
傷っての
No,
は、
I don't want
自
it.
分で治すようにできてる。
Like in fact, I've never done it in my life because I do not want that.
周りの人が治したとしても、それは本当の完治じゃない。だから、レナが自分で元気になるのを、私たちは見守るしかないんだよ、きっと。
理屈じゃ理解できるが、なんだか薄情な気がして、好きになれねえな。
I clasped my hands behind the back of my head looking at the ceiling. Mion laughed.
それだけレナのことを心配してくれるケイちゃんが身近にいるなら、レナは大丈夫だよ。
I have to say the L as well. I want a warm hot dog up my butthole. I want a warm hot dog up my butthole. I want a warm hot dog up my butthole. I want a warm hot dog up my butthole. I want a warm hot dog up my butt. Want a warm hot dog up my butt. Wow. There you go. I've said my contractual obligation. That is not something I wish to do, okay? I was crossing my fingers the entire time, okay? I don't actually wish for that to befall upon me.
立ち直れるよ。
近くにいるだけでか？ うさんくさいな。
圭一にだってできることがありますですよ。
Rika-chan spoke up. I wonder how long she'd been listening to our conversation.
俺にもできることがあるのか？
Crossing your fingers, hoping it happened. No, crossing your fingers because if you make a promise but cross your fingers, it doesn't happen.
レナが話したいと思った時や、打ち明けたいと思った時に、静かに聞いてあげることなのです。
聞くだけでいいのか？励まさなくていいのかよ。
ケイちゃん、打ち明けるだけで心が軽くなるもんだよ。静かに耳を傾けるのが何よりも嬉しい時ってある。
ミーの言う通りなのですよ。レナが話したいと思った時、いつでも話しかけられる場所にいてあげるのも、きっと仲間として大切なことなのだと思いますです。
Miona and Rika-chan were absolutely right. I was gonna pat Jenna on her shoulder and tell her to cheer up when I saw her next, but now that I know that would have been one-sided on my part. Jenna doesn't want to feel down herself. She wants to cheer up if at all possible. If I cheered her up irresponsibly, she'd be very disappointed because she'd think that I didn't understand her pain.
そうだな。俺、ちょっと人の心ってやつを理解しようとしてなかったな。レナを励ましたいのは、俺の欲求であって、レナの求めることじゃない。ありがとな。俺、ひょっとすると、今日まで何か勘違いをしてたかもしれないぜ。
On that day, I thought I cheered her up, but I started to doubt if I had reached her heart. I might have just been dragging her someplace where I wanted her to go. I wasn't on her side, in the real sense of the term. All of a sudden, Rika-chan patted my head.
圭一は一番のレナの味方ですよ。それは疑わなくて大丈夫なのです。
俺、また考え事を口に出しちまってたのか？
レナの心には届いてるよ。ケイちゃんはあの日、とても強い力をレナに与えたんだからさ。いやー、でもさ、よくよく思い出すと、すっごい恥ずかしいこと言ってたよね。
We heard footsteps from the hallway and everybody started to head back to their desks.
お待たせしました。それでは委員長、ご起立！
We didn't have a club meeting that day because then I wasn't around. That worked out for me, because I had an errand to run. It wasn't a big errand. My mom wanted me to use her point card to get some detergent. What do I want? That's a very open-ended question. What are you referring to? I didn't see the point of going all the way to the store just to get detergent, but... No, I do not want that. Okay? Not at all. In any shape or form, I do not want that. Okay? What you're showing me right now. In fact, I'm covering it with my hands. I cannot see it. I do not see the point going all the way to the store just to get detergent, but my mom told me to go because she was busy helping my dad with his work. What other shape would a hot dog take? I don't know. What do you mean, what other shape would a hot dog take? I started walking towards the shopping center. I noticed someone was watching me, hiding behind a distant tree. I wondered who would do such a mischievous thing. I stared at them to find out who it was, at which point they emerged.
レナじゃねえか。
Are you feeling better now? I was about to say that, but I swallowed the words. Somehow Rena looked very serious.
どうしたんだ？
Then her put her index finger to her lips, told me to be quiet, looked around carefully, and beckoned me to come over. I had no idea what was going on, but I followed her instructions, shut my mouth, and ran towards her. Rena gestured for me to squat down to hide in the shadow of the bush. I didn't know why I had to do that, but I could ask her the question later. I just followed her orders for now. Rena looked like she was making sure no one was following her. If it was Mion, she'd do something like this just to fool me as a joke, but I know Rena doesn't do things like this for fun. I had no idea what kind of situation I'd gotten myself into, but I could feel how tense it was, and I made myself as small as I could.
もういいよ。ごめんね。
The tone of her voice made me relax a little.
どうしたってんだよ、一体。
多分私、誰かに最近、後をつけられているの。
なんだって？
Who would follow her? When I thought about it, I realized how stupid the question was.
警察かよ。
Rina Mamiya and Teppei Hojo. Two people disappeared. Even though they were awful human beings, the police had to investigate if they found out that they'd been gone missing. It probably wouldn't be difficult to find out that Rina had often been to Rena's house. Welcome back, hamburger. But it should be okay. You playing more Super Meat Boy, or are you done? As long as they don't find these bags, it should be okay.
警察なのか、警察じゃないのかわからないけれど、綿流しの夜以降、誰かにずっと見られている気がするの。
どういうことだよ。
Once asked that question, Lena stared directly at me with a blank expression. Her eyes looked as though they were evaluating me. She stared at me as if she was assessing whether I was worth talking to about something very important. Lena squeezed her own wrist tightly, then started talking in a whisper.
話してもいいけど、誰にも内緒にできる。
You said any shape. If you blended up the hot dog and then froze it again, that's another shape or form. Currently doing some dumb shit, like what?
ああ、もちろんだぜ。レナがそうしろってんなら、誰にも喋らない。
ケイイチくんなら信用できるよ。
Yeah, but is either ours... But is that... is that either of our thoughts? No, but I mean, technically a burger is another way you could, like as a different form of a hot dog. I don't think I'll be shoving a burger up my ass. Like cooking up some nunya. Of course, yeah. The classic Dianea thing where you like say something and then just say like, oh, no, it's not your business. Yeah, we're talking about hot dogs, not burger. Yeah, but it's another form. She smiled and looked around one more time.
連中はひょっとすると、ミオさんのスクラップ帳を探しているのかもしれないの。
ミオさんって、ああ、看護師の高野さんのことか。あと、スクラップ帳って何のことだ？
秘密の捜査になっているって言ってたから、多分、ケイイチくんは知らないよね。
Yeah, I think, you know, like at the end of the day, okay, well, we can say our burgers sandwiches, and then our hot dog sandwiches. And if they're in the same line, like if you can argue both, then who's to say that they're not the same? Back from ramen. Nice. A hot dog is a taco. That is also something. Maybe you could say a taco is a sandwich. I don't know.
高野ミオさん、殺されたんだって。
いつ？
Want to hear my receipt? Sure. She told me to be quiet again. I lowered my voice and let her
綿
continue.
流しの夜、私たちはミオさんと、あと、富武さんに会ったよね。あの直後に、二人が襲われたんだって。
My sense is nobody actually believes a hot dog is a sandwich. They just say to be quirky. If somebody says they want a sandwich, nobody... No, of course not. But it's the same thing like... If you say, like... Tomato is a fruit, not a vegetable. You know? It's like, obviously your first thought is it's gonna be, like... a vegetable, right? But it's like, you think about it more, it's gonna be a fruit. It's like the same type of thing. Like... A hot dog is not its own thing. Like, you're not going to think of a hot dog first, but after you think about it more, it falls more in line with a sandwich than its own thing. Spicy? Okay, that's a lot of spices. Was it spicy, Chunky?
富武さんは、お社様の
No,
たりに
I
なっ
see,
て、
okay.
喉をかきむしって死んだ。
Was the hot dog sandwich thing is purely so scientifically, if you were the hot dog sandwich thing is purely semantically. But you get where I'm coming from, right? It's not like... I'm not sitting here saying that, oh yeah, like, a hot dog is a sandwich. Right? But it is closer to a sandwich than anything else. Like, a hot dog is closer to being a sandwich than to being its own thing. Have a resilient stomach. I see. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, if you take spicy food, then that's great. It's always good because you can, when you have a higher tolerance to those stuff. I don't think there's, like, unless you go to, like, really, really, really spicy stuff, I don't think you're in danger for anything other than that. It's fine.
ミオさんは岐阜の山中で
Okay,
焼き
so
殺されて
I
いたと
thought
言って
maybe it
た
would be
の。
very similar to chapter 1, where I thought it would be very similar to chapter 1, where Urana would be like isolated by Oishi, but no, it doesn't seem like it. She's telling Keiichi everything.
それ、本当かよ。そんなの誰も知らないぞ。
それは警察が伏せて捜査をしてるからなの。
You're 6, 7. Let's go. Why'd you do the face after?
ひなみ沢村連続開始事件は
Okay,
今
it's a
年
very
で5
funny
年目になっ
thing.
ちゃうでしょ。だから変に騒がれたくな
You're
いんで。
so funny.
事件を
That's probably the
公に
funniest
して
thing
い
you
ない
could
ん
have
だ
ever said. Woke up at 7 a.m. and now it's 5 p.m. Or almost 6 p.m. What do you plan to do then? Or when do you plan to go to sleep?
なるほど。
I know Dianea is a FFF7 or FF7 fan, like yeah, exactly, one of the best RPGs. So I think she would highly recommend it. Just
秘
woke
密
up.
捜
Oh,
査なの
nice.
は分かっ
Okay.
たが、レナはそんな
How
話
long was your nap?
どこで
Well,
聞いた
yeah,
んだ
that's
よ。
good then. You know, I think naps are good. I took a nap today as well. About a 30-minute nap.
内緒だよ。私、実は大石っていう沖宮署の刑事さんと連絡を取り合っているの。その人に教えてもらった。
どうして、大石って人がレナに。
さあ、彼が言うには、私なら信用できそうだからって言うんだけどね。
Hope you enjoy it then. 165 long, so 2 hours, 5 minutes? Is that what you're saying? I was dumbfounded to hear all this. But I knew she wasn't lying. If it was Mio, she'd be sticking her tongue out by now, but Rena wouldn't make a joke out of something like this. Okay, okay.
ミオさんが殺された理由は、多分、彼女の研究のせいだと思うの。ミオさんが、この村の歴史とか、民族学とか、そういうのを熱心に調べてたってのは知っている？
なんとなくは聞いたことある。
Takano-san, who was interested in the occult and in mysterious things. I remember Mion once told me that she was studying the village's legends of man-eating demons out of curiosity. I should have a nap too. Too late. I've seen something where the latest you can take or you should take a nap is 5 p.m. So Ruben, if you want to take a nap, it's technically not the latest yet. Okay. Berserk, you have to come in. Is this going to be your greeting now? Every time? Is this how you communicate?
彼女は多分、その研究の中で、この村に関するある重要な秘密を知
Taking
って
a
し
nap
まっ
at
たの。
11 p.m. And how long was this nap for?
あるいは彼女は、そんなにも確信には踏み入ってなかったのかもしれないけど、そうは思われなかったんだろうね。
ちょっと待て。
Like 7 to 8 hours. Yeah, that's a really good nap, Diana. In fact, you know, I think that's, you know, some people call that sleeping, but maybe like those people don't know what they're talking about.
この村の秘密ってなんだよ。
私
I'm
は、
taking a nap for like
ミ
4
オさん
hours
の
at
ス
8
クラッ
p.m.
プ帳を
once.
ほんの数冊借りて読んだだけ。
4 hours at 8 p.m. So you woke up at 12? You see that like that's if you're like so then what'd you do the rest of the night then?
でも、彼女が特に大事にしていた秘蔵の数冊だか
I
ら、
think I've said
か
this
なり
before,
重
but
要
the
なこと
best
が記してあっ
naps
たと思う。
are either 30 minutes or 1 hour 30 minutes. Those are the best nap times.
だから多分、ミオさんが至ろうとしていたことに、8割
Let's
方
answer
ぐ
your
らいは
question
近
about editing
づい
stuff
て
for
いると思
photography
う
class.
の。
Nice, like you're editing the photos like for a project or something else, like you're editing a video like in a collage of photos. Okay.
でも、あまりに突拍子もなくて、私には
It's
ま
a
だ信
nap
じら
in
れ
my
ない。
heart. Why do you want it to be a nap so badly and not just call it sleep?
ミオさんの想像が正しいかどうか、検証してる段階なの。
Yeah, I had to do that as well when I did photography. We have to recreate images as close as possible. What do you mean, like, recreate images as close as
秘
possible?
密を知ると殺されるっていう。
Like,
この
like
村の
take
秘密
famous
ってのは
images and then, like, take pictures of them or something? I gasped the moment the words left my mouth. If Yona told me, I might get killed too.
圭一君には、まだ全部話したくない。確証が持てたら話すね。
Because it's convenient to call it a nap in this instant to be contrary to you. Oh, okay, of course. Because you have to be contrary to me. You can't, like, agree with me because the streamer is, like, always wrong. So you have to, like, be the contrarian.
だって、それくらいに途方もない、とんでもない話だから。
I agree with you all the time. Yeah, but... yeah, you're the only person... Actually, no. You are one of the few people that will agree with me. But there are many other people who will be contrarian to me because it's funny.
確証ってなんだよ。
例えば、予備知識のない内訳については、私自らがその存在を検証できているけど、他にもたくさん未検証のことがあるの。
Thank you, Diana. You should tell that to Surplus. And then see what he thinks about that.
それらを埋めていかないと、私ですら、にわかには信じられない。
Maggots? Surplus my crowd. He would. I was totally lost now. I wanted to ask her some questions, but I decided not to cut in. That goober agrees. I don't know. It feels like, I mean, like, obviously, like, yes, there's some things I'll say I'll be, agree with or whatever. But I feel a lot of the times he will, like, be contrarian to me just because it's funny. But then I held her arms as she was cold.
俺はいつだってお前の味方なんだからな。
This is 15 years ago. That's not disagreeing with... Yeah, I know. Yeah.
俺だけは信用してくれて構わない。
ありがとう。その一言が、すごい嬉しい。
From her expression alone, I could tell that she really meant it. I could also tell she was involved with something very big and that she felt lonely because she couldn't tell anyone else about it. It's some guy doing a cover of 32 songs. It's like this dude playing guitar here.
私とね、今日ここで出会ったことは内緒にした方がいいと思う。私と接触があったことが知られたら、圭一君にも危害が及ぶかもしれないから。
わかった。俺に何か協力できることはないのかよ。
今はない。でも、協力をお願いできることが分かっただけで、今の私には心強いよ。最後には頼らせて。
I have 40 minutes on FF7.
ね。
Didn't you just buy the game?
おう、任せとけ。
車が来る。
Then I pushed my head into the bush. I went along with it and crouched down even lower into the bushes. You got a router recently? So you have better internet connection? Is that what you're saying? Wow, you're almost done. Yeah, you definitely speedran the game there, Hamburger. We stayed quite a while. I could hear a car coming closer, and after a while, a white van passed by. I was surprised at her hearing. She heard the car coming when it was still far off in the distance.
今の車、ナンバー見えた？
いや、ごめん。見えなかった。
Well, I think at the time, like, the fact that they live in a rural village probably means they don't have access to, like, technology and stuff, and, like, to listen to music easily, I would think.
私も
You
ちょっ
just
と見
ate
えなかった
ramen,
けど、
Chunky! You
多分
can't eat
さっきと
hamburger
同
as
じナ
well!
ンバーの車だと思うの。
その、レナを尾行しているとかいう連中か？
多分。普段車なんか通らない道で、今日は何度も追い
I
上げ
think
ら
they
れ
would
る。
probably listen to, like, older songs, Because, like, that's probably would be available, but it'd probably take a long time for them to get, like, the fact that, like, Beat It came out in 1980 or March 1983, it'll probably take a while for them to get over here. Mion were like, fair. And with the family, they probably do have ways to get stuff quickly. But I don't know if Mion could just be like, oh, yeah, I want this. And then, like, people be like, yes, Mion. And then, like, go out to do it. I don't think they would be doing that, but I don't know.
その度に、私
I
は
have
隠れ
snacks
て
in my
や
bed
り
here.
過ご
What?
している
Yeah,
か
sure,
らい
let's
い
hear
ん
your
だけど、
setup.
どうもおかしい。
そいつらなのか。高野さんたちを殺して、レナが持ってるスクラップ帳を狙っているという連中は。
多分。
I don't blame her for not being able to believe what's going on because this is really crazy. Did you see my speedrun? I did see your speedrun chat, Hamburger, yes. We did 1 billion trillion damage. You're gonna have to show me that screenshot, or like that speedrun strat. So maybe I'll be able to speedrun it as well. The people who want that information hidden about. No! You're keeping information to yourself? Wow, not a true honorable speedrunner. SMH in my head. They killed her on the night of the Watsunagashi, copying the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Looking for the scrapbooks, the fruits of her research, and Rena has them. That's why they're trying to kill Rena?
じゃあ、レナの家が危ないってことはないのか？
大丈夫。スクラップ帳は、ゴミ山の私の隠れ家に隠してある。お父さんが不安だけど、何も知らないからこそ、
Now I'm really not
何
giving
も危害が及ばない
that
かもしれない。
SMH in my head. What's wrong with that? What did I say wrong?
圭一くんが言わなくても、顔に書いてあるよ。突拍子もない話で、とても信じられない。
Using abbreviations wrong fucking pisses me off. But it's funny. SMH, right? Exactly. In bed, I have a TV at the end of my bed, PS4 attached, I have snacks next to me, I have one McDonald's Sprite, I'm tapping on my phone, watching stream on TV. Perfect. Couldn't have a better setup. You gonna play anything on your PS4 or are you just chilling? McDonald's Sprite is... Didn't you just say you got ramen though? Why do you have a McDonald's Sprite? ATM machine. Hamburger, I think you need to calm down, okay? Okay, we take a deep breath. Which sounds good. Sounds good, Chunky. Want to deny, but I felt too bad to lie. I remain silent in the affirmative.
それが当然の反応。私だって、ミオさんのスクラップ帳を読み始めた最初は、なんだこりゃって思って、全然信じられなかったもの。すべてに目を通して、ようやく何かの
Read
筋
the
が見えてき
visual
た
novel
んだ。
Fem. Why do you have to keep like that is not me whatsoever, okay? There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like it's just something that does not represent me as a person. You know, got sidetracked while driving back and bought Sprite. Fair.
すまん。もちろん、レナの味方になりたいのは本心だ。でも、話が全然見えないんで、どう助けてやればいいかわかんないんだ。
話せば、ケイチ君の身にも危険が
You
降り
need
かか
to
るよ。
finish. Why are we bringing this back up? No, we're not finishing this. We're not finishing that. This saying California girls on the way back. Nice. So you ride a motorcycle?
レナにはすでに降りかかってるんだろ？
Yeah, but you'll do Higurashi. Yeah, I will. Nice. Motorcycles always seemed like they seemed cool, but like I don't know, I would feel too like it feels way too open, you know? She was kind enough to buy the game for you and you wouldn't finish the game. Okay. Since we've been doing this, one day, Hamburger, we will be playing I Made a Femboy Squirt on Discord, okay? We'll be finishing that, but I will not be streaming it on Twitch. Okay, one day. Actually, if we want this, if this is something that people will actually watch, sure, we could do it.
わかった。
What I don't want, though, is for me to be streaming that game in the Discord alone. Okay? That is what I don't want.
話す。多分、ミオ
I
さん
think you
たち
should
を
be given
殺したの
private
は
space for
ひ
you.
なみざわ御
Really,
三
why
家。
do you say that? Because that's something I definitely don't need private space for.
もっとはっきり言ってしまえば、
To
みーちゃん
goon.
の家である。
No, I definitely will not
その先
be, okay? Okay? Let's say in some world, I did want to do that. I definitely wouldn't announce that I would be playing the game again.
どうして？
You have a Yamaha R6 Superbike. I don't know anything about it, but I don't know anything about motorcycles, but what do you like about it?
圭一くんも過去の連続開始事件は知ってるよね。
What if it's so good you change your mind? No, I think I definitely, no matter how good it is in quotations, I don't think I would want to be, I don't think I want to start gooning in front of like a bunch of people, you know? I think that's something I don't wish to do. It's cool, fast, nice. What's the reason that you got that motorcycle over others?
ああ、ダム戦争の時の
But
村の旧敵ば
let's
かり
make
が
it clear,
毎
I'm
年
grading
犠牲
this
になっていくっていう
hypothetical
あれだ
scenario
ろ？
where that most likely, that in fact will not happen.
この連続開始事件は、
Guys, I gotta go to the
ダム戦争の生産の
bathroom
よ
real
うな
quick.
ものな
Need
ら
some... The thing is, if I do have to go to the bathroom at some point, you guys will never stop. So I have to go to the bathroom before I stream it. You guys will never show. You guys it will be like literally years down the line, right? Me streaming, and you'll be like, remember that one time Delphintino had to go use the bathroom when he was streamed? I made a femboy squirt. Yeah, kind of sus. You're gonna be playing with your little Tuno while you play the game. No, I won't be.
村の裏切り者を片付けることによって、本当の意味でダム戦争を終わらせようとす
I'm
る。
clipping this.
確かに、そう見えないことはないよな。
No, I won't be. Okay, I have no desire to be doing that.
誰もがはっきりと口にはしない。
Why are you trying to will this
う
into
すうすとその
existence?
崎家の仕業だと疑ってる、みたいな話は聞いたことあるぜ。
でも、裏切り者を制裁するなら、別に綿流しの場にこだわらなくてもいいんじゃない？毎年、たたりで一人、鬼隠しで一人なんて、スローペースで殺す必要はない。そうでしょ？
Okay.
毎年、たたりで一人、鬼隠しで一人なんて、スローペースで殺す必要はない。そうでしょ？
I don't think I've ever heard this Michael Jackson song. And I did hear a lot of Michael Jackson songs before. I don't think I've heard this one though.
つまり、これらの連続開始事件は、綿流しの祭りに神聖性を取り
On
戻そう
the
とする意
universe?
志が
What
ある
is
の。
Is that a thing? Or just like is it just saying in general the universe rates the visual novel higher than DJT?
もっと踏み込んで言うと、
It's
明治
from
以
Off the
降
Wall,
に
his
失わ
first
れ
solo
た
album.
鬼隠
Oh,
し村
okay.
の神
Maybe
聖
that's
性を
why I
取り
haven't
戻
heard
す
it.
ための
Okay,
団
I
体
see,
的
I
イベ
see.
ント。彼らは最終的には太古の昔にそうだったような原理的なお社様信仰を
Pray
復活さ
there's
せるこ
never
とを目
manga
的として
adaptation
い
of
る。
it. It'll be one the moment it drops.
お社様信仰。
True. It's nothing more peak than that. Excuse me. Oh, I need some food after this.
古出神社のことか。
Okay. Let's put the music back up. What's this song? Sheep counts.
そう。古出神社って崇められていると思う？お年寄りの人は敬っているけど、それだけだよね。子供たちは境内を遊び場くらいにしか思ってないし、その神聖性は失われている。それがダム戦争をきっかけに蘇ったの。彼らはそれをお社様信仰を復活させるいい機会だと捉えた。
ってことは、つまり、お社
I don't
様
know
信
why
仰
they
の
sometimes
教
bring
師
out
た
this
ちが
different voice actor for
裏で暗
Keiichi.
躍しているってことか。
そういうこと。そもそもお社様信仰は御三家によって管理されていた。だから御三家には 現代にも脈々とお社様信仰を復活させなければならないとい
Different
う
voice. Yeah,
至上
like,
目的が受け継が
like
れ
this
てい
is
るの。
normal, Keiichi.
お社様信仰
And then there's this.
ってことはつまりお社様信仰の狂信者たちが裏で暗躍しているってことか。
Like, it sounds like a more mature voice. You couldn't clip it. Wait, why couldn't you clip it?
それを思えば、
There's something
御三
broken?
家がダム戦争中に村を一丸にまとめたり、廃れかけていたお社様を引き合いに出し、古出神社にわざわざ同盟事務所を設けた理由も透けて見えてくる。
じゃあひなみ沢村連続開始事件ってのは、
I kept sending you to Google. Oh, okay.
いやお社様を信仰する狂信的な集団の仕業なら待てよ。どうして高野さんが殺されなきゃならないん
I've
だ。
only ever gifted you shitty NSFW games. Yeah, you gifted me that one, and then you gifted me sex with Hitler, and then you gave me, like, furries versus hentai or something like that. Those are the games you've gifted me. Yeah.
それは御三家が鬼ヶ淵村と呼ばれた太古からずっと隠してきた
Here,
こ
I
の村
can't.
の
We
ある
need
重
to
大な秘
play
密に
that.
関係があるの。
Yeah, and you never said thank you. Look, I'm not clicking on this, but there it is, right there.
それを暴かれると、お社様という神の神聖性が失われる。だから彼らは、ミオさんの研究が確信に近づいたことを知り、消したの。
It's funny with is yeah, I know. They had to they had to emphasize the other two parts, and with is like whatever.
その重大な秘密ってのは何なんだ。それを知ると俺も狙われるってんだろうけど。
Well, it looks like that's what why are we playing that after chapter 6?
だから、それはまだ言いたくない。私
Why
自
is
身は
everyone
10
so
割の確証を
enthusiastic
得
to
る
play
まで
this?
言いたくない。多分、今ここで話しても、ケイイチ君は耐えきれなくなって、笑い出してしまうに違いないもの。
おいおい、俺がそんな奴に見えるかよ。
I need to know what that is. Oh my gosh. Because who wouldn't be? Me? Oh wait, okay, this is yeah, I know this guy. Yeah, I know this guy. Why are you sending this to me, by the way? Why are you sending this to me? Why do I need to be sent this? It's irrelevant. In what way? You look really cute today. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me blush. Sorry, what?
もう少し時間が欲しいの。あまりの事実に、私ですら受け入れきれていないの。
But yeah, it's actually crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I, for some reason, get all the femboy VTubers recommended to me. And I don't know why, but I do.
だからもう少し時間を欲しいの。
It's like, you watch one of them, and then it's like one clip just comes up in passing, and then suddenly it's just flooded with the, who think you know? No, I don't know why.
わかった。
今日ここで話したことは誰にも喋っちゃダメだよ。みーちゃんとリカちゃん。
That
も
dress
ちろ
will
ん、
look
さ
good
とこ
on
ちゃんに
you.
もダメ。
I don't think it would. It's weird. I was genuinely wondering what you all together. I was wondering what your yeah, I had to preface this, okay? Because literally, I have to make sure because anything I say, right? No, even when I add those words beforehand, you guys are gonna say stuff like so. Yeah, I mean, literally, you can look up hamburger. We think you know why. ... Like, it's okay to come out to, we'll support you. What do you mean?
わかったよ。
Or yes, like I understand. Like, thank you. You know, I'm glad to know that I have the support, but I don't need this assurance because I have no desire. You're so paranoid. What do you mean I'm paranoid? Okay. Because I don't want. Let's just say I just don't need something to get clipped out of context, and then we need some, and then something. You're just gonna say, "Oh yes, I love femboys so much," and that's just gonna be clipped right there, and then it's gonna be like, "Oh yes," but I have to add something beforehand to say like, "Oh yes, this is something that that is a joke that I'm saying that is just only a joke and that has no other connotation whatsoever."
じゃあ、ケイチ君はもう行って。私はもう少し、あたりを伺ってから行く。用心に過ぎるということはないからね。
Okay, Grandma, why are you so adamant on liking femboys? I'm not! Sorry. I'm not. Okay, because if I get too, if I start yelling too much, you're gonna be like, you're acting very defensive there. No, okay? I'm not. Why are you so passionate? I'm defending myself here. Neno ducked low in the bushes and moved away. I was left alone there. You have a lot of emotion. Yeah, because I'm being accused of something that I'm not, okay? Of course I would have emotion. The cries of cicadas surrounded around me, making it seem I was alone there the whole time. This all started because I called you a femboy once as a joke, by the way. But I'm pretty sure you, gifted me, was it the femboy squirt game way before that? Oh, yeah, this stream? Oh, okay, yeah. This all started, yes, it did start because of that. I mean, literally, this entire cat thing, I have an entire cat toggle now, right? Because Surplus one day made me meow on stream. But he told me clearly that there are people who want to resurrect the cult of Oyashido-sama. They're among the 3 families. That control the entire village. They orchestrated a series of mysterious deaths for that purpose. They killed Takano-san because she got too close to the secret they wanted to hide. Then I met Takano, and happened to obtain the scrapbook in which Takano-san wrote about her research. Then I still can't believe the secret written in the scrapbook because it's just too crazy. Hey, come on, Dana. You're kidding me, right? It's like one of those comic book stories. A mysterious occult group is plotting a conspiracy? I mean, it's not funny even if it is a joke. But Dana's right about one thing. Even if this is true, it's really hard to believe. I understand why Rena wanted to wait to tell me the secret. Maybe she was just fooled by Takano-san, but Takano-san was murdered for real. So is it also true that someone's following Rena, looking for the scrapbook? I remember, Rena said that a white van was following her. You can see white vans anywhere. But there are a lot in this village alone. She might just be oversensitive to everything right now. Rena hasn't recovered from the shock since that day. That's probably why she got this idea into her head that the police or someone else is coming after her. I didn't cut in while she was talking. I think I did the right thing. You send me a great gif. What is this great gif? What is this? Yuru? What is it? Yuru? What even is this? Why is there an apostrophe? I guess I understand it's meant to be your, right? But why is it like what even is that? Euro? I'm so confused. Read it? I don't know. Ow? I'm so confused. If I'd said it was ridiculous or something to her face, then I wouldn't have trusted me ever again. At that point, however, I gasped. A white van was parked on the side of the street. I wasn't sure if this was the same car that passed by earlier since I didn't see the plate number, but the number of the people in the car and the ambiance of it was similar to the one earlier. There's only one other thing that looked suspicious about it. There's no reason to park here. It was on a small road in the middle of the woods. There's nothing around here. No traffic lights, no vending machines, and no public phones. I probably wouldn't notice it under ordinary circumstances, but I felt something was wrong. Once I noted how odd it was definitely suspicious. There were 4 men in work uniforms in the white van. The driver was smoking a cigarette, but the other men were just sitting there doing nothing. If they wanted to take a break or have a smoke, they could have chosen a better place than here. It's possible this stopped because they had to go to the bathroom really badly, but it didn't seem that way either. And then why is the guy sitting by the car that explodes? Like he accomplished something. Why can't he? But it's like he accomplished something, but he didn't really do anything. They didn't look as comfortable or relaxed like they would if they were just taking a break. Is it because he's black? What does that have to do with anything? Could they possibly be waiting? What is this, Chunky? What do we have? Oh, wait, no, let me put it here. Okay, what is this? Okay, but you could see by me adding more context, you know that there's something more. Okay, because if I didn't preface anything, it would just be cut off entirely. Or like it would just say the thing, the phrase. There's a gif of that clip with like 20 Higurashi buzzwords as top text. Oh, okay, I see. Like what? Like Nippa? And how? I'm gonna edit it without context after. Why are we spreading false information here? Could they possibly be waiting for Arena? No way. I didn't see anybody walking around here. I'll send it to you when you finish. Sure. This road is a back road. Nobody really uses this road, let alone by car. Tuno doesn't like femboys, so instead he's into dominant women who wear strap-ons to hide his gay agenda. What? But if it's a woman doing it, then it's not gay. Now let's. I don't have any desire to have like someone with a strap on, okay? But that doesn't change the fact that if a woman's doing it, it's not gay. So Tuno's a lesbian. That doesn't make any sense. I can't be lesbian. Felt bad for Dana to even think about it, but this must be something that she got into her head because she's feeling victimized or something. She must be imagining because she's still nervous when her friends caught her in the act of killing Rina and Teppe.
Ni-chan.
Tuno, are you a woman? No, I'm not a woman. I heard someone say that when I passed by the van. He couldn't mean me. He didn't even know who I was. So I assumed he's talking to one of the other people in the car. I pretended I didn't hear him and kept walking by. And then he said it again and honked the horn as well.
Ni-chan, すまんね。学校の帰りかいね。
He had a strong accent, similar to the other older villages. He must have lived here, but I didn't know him. I could tell he didn't know me either because he didn't call me by name.
はい。そうですけど。
兄ちゃん、学校からこの道をずっと歩いてきたんで。
I'm not a woman, chat. That's a woman. Literally, have you been lying this whole time? Literally, nothing I say. If I say no, I'm not a woman, chat's gonna be like, you're lying, you are. If I say I am, they're gonna be like, we knew it the entire time you were a woman. So I can't say, okay? So the only thing I can say is I don't know.
ちょうど文房具屋の角を曲がって。
そうですけど、何か
You're probably lost, I thought. This village has many small turns, and you can easily get lost when you try to take a shortcut. You just got told. Yeah, hamburger really got me there. I can't do anything about that. It's just... I can't recover. It's over for me. I can't show my face there ever again. It's just too much. Must have been waiting for someone to ask directions. No, because tunas are... Yeah. But then, he said something disturbing.
兄ちゃんさ、この道の途中で女の子に会わんかったかいね。白い帽子に白い服を着た女の子なんよ。紫のリボンもついと。会わんかったかいね。
They were definitely talking about Rena.
いえ、会ってないです。
I wasn't ready to hear them ask that. Rather, I was scared. That's why my voice got all shaky. Up until that point, I couldn't believe it on a story. I thought it was ridiculous. You clipped this? What's this that he clipped? What is this? Oh, it's in Slime Rancher 2, I see. There's a lot more plorts in Slime Rancher as well. It's just suddenly how you kill yourself. Yeah. It does sound exactly like it. It does sound exactly like it. That's crazy. There's a kid asking that as well. It's funny. Up until that point, I couldn't believe it in a story. I thought it was ridiculous. I actually laughed, if only to myself. That's why I wasn't ready at all. My heart was beating fast and I was sweating all over. Immediately I answered, no, I didn't, but it might have sounded like an obvious lie. The driver stared into my eyes. He looked like he was trying to figure out if I was lying or not, and my legs started to shake. I felt like a frog under the glare of a snake, and I couldn't move a muscle for a while. But I think the same went for those men too. They were clearly a suspicious group. And they had just asked a villager about a girl out of the blue. Anybody would get suspicious. And I was right. The man broke the ice and started making excuses before I even asked him why he wanted to know about the girl.
ああ、そんな深い意味はないんで。さっき、
Okay, Chunky, sounds good.
女の子を
I'll
追い抜
probably,
いたのによ。
I mean, I don't know how
来たのが男の子だった。
long you'll be, but like, yeah, if I don't see you,
と思っただけなんだ。
have a good rest of your night.
そうですか。
忘れてえな。ごめんな、兄ちゃん。うちら、もう行くんて。
The man started the engine and drove away. After they left, I saw nothing. That's right, nothing. There's no reason why they had to park here. So were they really waiting for Dana? Finally done with our photography project so I can get to FF7. Nice! Hope you enjoy FF7 then. Dude, this is going kind of wild. Why are people searching? How do they even know that she has the scrapbooks, you know? You hate this game. Furthermore, it's important that we closely monitor her father, since he has also suffered mental shock from the divorce and has been trying so hard to take care of the patient. There's a strong possibility that he may develop an induced delusional disorder. As the first step of mental care, one should listen to the patient's story carefully without denying it. That's the most basic of basics. However, when the patient and the listener are related, it's easy for the listener to become deeply influenced by the patient's delusions. Additionally, delusional parasitosis is widely known to make people highly impressionable, and the influence sometimes can spread throughout a whole community. Therefore, even if several people claim to acquire parasitic infection, it doesn't necessarily prove the existence of a parasite. Some of the phone calls to the healthcare centers for the extermination of pests are nothing more but a mass delusion. Since the subject matter of the delusion in this case is extremely rabid, the patients might harm or even kill each other in abnormal ways, believing this to be the treatment for the disease. They might also give up hope and commit suicide together in the worst case. This influential delusional disorder, otherwise known as a shared psychotic disorder, shows a particularly strong possibility of influencing close companions. Anyone who's going to contact the patients must be made to understand that the patients are under medical treatment and must be warned not to be influenced by the patient's delusions. Individuals who are likely to be easily influenced are the patient's family members and people who deeply care about the patient, such as boyfriends or girlfriends. Okay. So I'm guessing something's going to happen with the father next time. Based on that, but seems to be real. I guess, no. At the same time. No, that's saying boyfriends, girlfriend, friends. That's saying Keiichi might be feeding into delusion that Rena has. But, like, this is not even a delusion. This is like, dude, they straight up asked for her. I'm sorry. But yeah. Okay. I think that is a good place to end for today. These graphics are shit. Yeah, because it's an old game hamburger. I think that's what you'd probably expect. Yeah. This game made for the N64? I don't know. But yeah. that'll be it from me then for today. Stuff is happening. Rena doesn't seem to be as deluded as Keiichi was in chapter 1. I was thinking it would be going down that route, except Rena, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So, yeah. I will be heading out now. And yeah, thank you for everyone who stopped by. And I'll be back with more Higurashi When They Cry tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone!